Bryan Cranston, welcome, a stellar cast, and it's a bittersweet road trip, isn't it?
It is. Well, thank you for having me, Nina.
No, thank you for coming.
It's a beautiful film. It deals with male friendship and how men rekindle relationships after years, how men deal with grief and troubles in their lives, some good decisions, some bad. And it's also about nobility and how friends can be there for each other when needed. And
it's a very serious subject, but there is humour given the writing and given the actors that are in it that comes through.
Well, Richard Linklater, who wrote it and directed, is an auteur and has a great ear for distinctive voices. And he crafted so beautifully this script that it just meant so much to me when I read it, and I wanted to be a part of it. Each man is very different, and yet collectively we create a sound that sounds authentic for Vietnam veterans. It's very heartfelt, this movie, but it's also hilarious and funny and entertaining, and you'll laugh and you'll cry, and by the end of it, you're left with hope. And I think that's what our world could use right now.
Oh, sure.
A little after-dinner mint of hope.
A little slither of an after-dinner mint. You're promoting the film here in London because, of course, you're taking the London stage by storm, your UK theatre debut. We're loving having you here and getting the 5-star reviews. How are you loving the London audience? Because it's a show, Network is a show that is dependent on them going along for the ride, and what a ride it is.
It's very inclusive to the audience as well. There are diners on stage with us. We go into the audience and deal with them, and they're a little taken aback by it. But it's very inclusive. It's talking about news being wrapped up in entertainment and the struggle that honest journalists have to stay genuine to the news and not succumb to the pressures of promotion and all the things that you have to deal with constantly.
Yeah, sure. And it's about a character, you know, an anchorman from yesteryear, but it's so pertinent to the world we live in right now, surely.
It really does. This was conceived long before the Brexit, long before the elections in the States, long before Donald Trump announced his candidacy. So it's very prescient from Paddy Chayefsky's work in the screenplay of Network back in the mid-1970s, how he projected an eye toward the future and what it would bring. And
you make an incredibly great anchorman. I mean, there are some shifts going here. If you're not on stage every night, so you could, you know, you've got the paper shuffle.
Do you see that? You see the paper shuffle?
Down to a fine art.
Sliding it over, switching cameras, going from one to the other.
I mean, I'm off on Thursday. I'm sure Lucrezia, our co-presenter, wouldn't mind if you stepped into the big chair.
I will come in and read the news if you take my place on stage one night.
Yeah, okay, that deal is off.
It's off?
It's off.
It's
off, Bryan Cranston. It's not going to happen.
But you perform every night in a way.
It's a different
you present
performance.
yourself.
And telling other people's stories in a different way. Anyway, enough about me. We've got to talk about Breaking Bad. 10 years ago it began, which is incredible. Yeah. You love it so much, and I know you don't mind talking about it. You've got a tattoo.
I do.
Let's have a look at that.
I do have a tattoo. Which camera are you doing? That one?
Can we have a look at that?
Right there.
And Aaron Paul Pinkman has got the same.
He has a different tattoo on his bicep.
Right.
His says no half measures. This one is the elemental symbol of our show, BRBA.
Yeah.
It's barium and bromide, I believe.
Takes me back to all that chemistry. Look,
all the chemistry
in our house, we love it so much that you are in our kitchen. Can I show which camera shall I look at? Should we go camera?
That's a fright mask
camera
for
one.
Sure.
Okay, I'm just going to finish the interview like this. My children have clearly never watched Breaking Bad, but absolutely love you because you're there every mealtime. With us, Walter White. Look, before I let you go, you're on stage later on this evening, which is why you're heading off now. Oscar nominations. Who's your top tip? Who would you like to see win? The Brits have done brilliant in the last few hours in racking up those nominations.
I adore Sally Hawkins.
Oh, wouldn't it be wonderful?
I worked with her on Godzilla, and she's not only super talented, but just a lovely person.
Yeah.
And did a wonderful job in that role.
Yeah.
And learning sign language and being able to convey the message and communicate through nonverbal communication.
Star of Paddington, Sally Hawkins in The Shape of Water. We will watch your tip with pleasure. Bryan Cranston, it has been an absolute delight
Thank you, Nina.
meeting you. Thank you very much for joining me. Thank you.